Okay, so let's get into some of these questions. First up, can you let me know if there's any physical issues when it comes to my left leg knee bending, buckling on the downswing? Right, so yes. So if you're talking about, so for instance, coming to the downswing and your lead knee is sort of just breaking and moving towards a target, from a physical point of view, we want to look at internal hip rotation, actual in that hip. So get your foot, turning your foot this way. So if you don't let your pelvis, you'd let your foot be there, you turn your pelvis in, see how much we've got there. We want to have about 60 degrees. So get a 6-iron, put it on the floor, put a rod down next to it, use it as tidal line, turn it to that. Also, as well, ankle. Make sure you got range of motion ankle. It's not something that we check with level 1, but you would do it from a SFMA point of view, so a treatment point of view. So if you put your foot in front of you should have a minimum of 20 degrees each way. It should be a lot more than that, but you want a minimum of 20 degrees. That gives you a little bit in the hip, and then when you get the more in the, a little bit in the knee and in the hip, then when you turn, that gives you 60 degrees. So could be that you're not stabilising on that side, so I'd check balance as well. See what your single leg balance is like on that side, compare it to your right hand side, and glute strength. So if your glute becomes weak, you're likely to move closer to the ball, and then that knee will buckle as well. So from a physical point of view, check the hip, check the foot, check glute strength, check that side balance, and then again, if it's a swing issue, then see your pro. Next one, what we've got. When you see a lot in the screen, lot to be fixed, how do you decide which parts you need to work on first? So there's kind of a hierarchy. So if you've got lack of range of motion in your shoulder and you've got a lack of range of motion in your upper back, I'm going to start your upper back first, especially from a treatment point of view, because I don't want to be cranking on that shoulder if I could increase this by increasing that. And what happens is you get more range of motion in this, and then you can make this unstable if you work on that. So that'd be one thing. Another thing would be based on what your goals are. So let's say, for instance, you're in your early 20s, then your targets will be different about what I'd look at on what I'd want to be fixing, completely different if you're plus 42, if you're 70s, 80s, depends on what your targets are. And generally, I would focus on biggest obstacle and easiest to fix. So if you're focusing on two things, easiest thing to fix first, so you get some growth, some results, some benefits of doing that. And then the other thing is the one that's going to give you the biggest results, the biggest domino. Focus on that. Now, that might be something that you do every day for 6 weeks before you see the results you want. But I would do both of that. That's what I would do. Next one. Older player, late 70s, need assisting in increasing my range of motion. What would you do to increase turn? Again, I want to see your screen. Are you someone that's just using your core to hit the ball because you've got a lack of range of motion in both your hips and your back? So you just literally try and use your core and your arms, or are you someone that's more flexible and can move? Increasing range of motion. So I want to know what we're trying to increase, but generally you can't go wrong with trying to make sure you've got a minimum of 45 degrees in the spine, upper spine. So sit in a chair like I'm sitting now, put a club across your chest or on the top of your back, turn, see if you've got 45 degrees. That's 90. What should I say? That's 90, 45 degrees in the middle. I would work on that. You can do that by lying on your side, putting one hand on top of the elbow, breathe in, breathe out, go that way. You can also, if you sit in a chair, turn this way, breathe in, breathe out, go down, and rotate across down. But all those exercises would be easily found. And then I would look at your neck. How much range of motion in your neck? Do you struggle to move in your neck, which means everything you've got to do is like that, or have you got a lot of range of motion in your neck? Neck and hip are the most difficult to fix at that age. Not impossible, just would require more work. But upper back, be relatively easy unless you've got a few spines, things like that. But that's what I would work on, definitely. Okay, best core exercises for your swing, for drills and exercises for the swing. Have I read that right? I assume what you're trying to say there is what are the best exercises for your core when it comes to swinging a golf club? I mean, what are you trying to fix? What's your screen say? What are you trying to fix? What's your biggest obstacle? What problem are you trying to solve? Core exercises, simple ones are sort of pull-off press. So, say for instance, a band or anything like that. Pull the band off, pull it away, move across, push the band so the band's tight like that. That's engaging your core. That's anti-rotation. There's another one you can do when you get on hands and get on all fours, hands and knees. Lift one leg, lift the other hand. Lift one leg, lift the other hand. Do one at a time. Turn the core. It depends on what you're trying to fix. I would, when it comes to the core, I would take it back to the screen. What does your pelvic tilt take? And if it is, then you're going to work on cats and dogs with a focused cats and dogs like El Double Tuck when you put your hands like that, or you do it in a quadruped version. If it's pelvic rotation, you're struggling with that, as in you can't rotate your pelvis without your upper body moving, or you can't rotate your upper body without your lower body moving, then you'll do more stuff of disassociation. So fix the upper body, move the lower body with some type of exercises. Same thing, fix the lower body, move the upper body with exercises. That's what I would think on rotation, definitely. Best way and best exercises to improve best exercises to improve wrist movement. Right, okay. So, with your wrists, we want to know if you can hinge up, hinge down. Yeah, you want to be able to rotate, sort of 80 degrees, so that would be 90 degrees, 80 degrees, yeah, same thing the other way. So it would depend on what you're struggling with. So if you can't hinge up, hinge down, it'd be unlikely that you can't hinge down because that's where you're going to set the club. But if you struggle to hinge up, or when you sort of move up, your arms sort of go out like this, or if you struggle to rotate, then I'd be working on these muscles either side. And then what you can do is you can bend your arm, add a bit of pressure to that muscle mass, and then what you do is extend your arm with a bit of pressure and then open your hand up. You can work that all the way down there. That'll work this side. Same thing the other side. You can do the same thing. So you go the opposite way and you do that. Work your way down. That increases range of motion. Up and down, it's more, do you go up and do you feel like you stop? Is it like a complete stop as though you're hitting sort of a joint? Or does it feel like something's tight? If something's tight, you can work on now. But a lot of the time, if you can't move up and down, it's actually in the joint. It would require more hands-on treatment. But yeah, anything that's increasing range of motion, working on these muscles, that's what I would do. What would be better for a player with poor hip rotation to start at address pelvis more posterior than neutral? So I would work on cats and dogs. So see if you can control your pelvic tilt. If you can't do it standing, then getting quadruped, hands on the floor, knees on the floor, see if you can control it then. If you can, then go up to half kneeling, see if you can do it. And then wherever you get stuck, so wherever you can do it, it's easy. That becomes the normal warm-up exercises. The next level up becomes what you focus on. So again, if you can't pelvic tilt forward or back, or if you do, if it's shake and bake, so if you get that sort of perturbation, then I would focus on starting on the floor, moving your pelvis, quadruped, moving your pelvis. That's normally there where you'll probably be for a little while, then going half kneeling, or like one leg down, one leg up, like that. So you sort of one leg down, one leg up, half kneeling, do that. And then when you graduate to get up to standing, instead of trying to do it standing, hold on to something, because that holds your upper body, whether it's a club or something like that, and then rotate your body and doing that. But personally, that's what I'll do for those ones.